All right, folks. So today is a little bit different. I've got one of my shamans, my M4 shaman that I modified. Remember, I posted pictures of it from the infamous fence post that's on my route that I take pictures from. That guy right there, that fence post. See him? So anyway, this is where I'm at. So I figured, I'll go ahead and keep the tradition going, but I'll be at the fence post. But instead of taking pictures, I'll do a video. Simply because when I take pictures of this thing, and instead of explaining all the stuff that I've done to it, all that typing and shit, might as well just shoot a video. I'm lazy. But anyway, but I'm fine as fuck though, but I'm lazy too. Anyway, so hey, check this out. Here we go. So M4 Shaman. Remember I posted pictures of it last week. So far what I had done to it was put the scales, the emerald green and natural micarta scales that I got from Mr. Scott C. Lacey. If you guys need any scales for your knives, hit him up. That man got it going on. I'm talking about these scales. I love them, man. God almighty, these are some fine scales. Anyway, so that's what I did to it so far. I remember I told you guys there was going to be 3 phases to it. Phase 1 was scales. Phase 2 was going to be the hardware and all that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about Cerakoting the hardware. A good a friend of mine on Facebook, he does that stuff, and he's done some work for me in the past. I figured I'd hit him up, but I just could not come up with the color that I thought would look good with this emerald green and natural micarta. Now I've got a set of orange Cerakoted screws that he did for my PM2 and my Pair 3, and I went ahead and took one of the pivot screws and I put it on the Shaman with the green micarta scale, the natural micarta scales, and it just didn't pop for some reason. The orange Cerakoted screws to me look better on a darker green, like an OD green, or hell, even the Knife Joker exclusive Crewwear Shaman, it's got those dark green scales. That would probably look good with some damn Cerakoted orange screws. Anyway, so I could not come up with a color. Flat dark earth, I was like, I don't know. OD green, I don't know, maybe too much green, because I was going to have him Cerakote the screws, the blade stop pin, the liners. Even though these liners are nested a little bit, you still see the compression lock, like you do for a PM2, for pretty much all the PM2s except for the Cruciato or whatever they call it. Anyway, so, and he's going to do the back spacer, and of course the clip, and screws. I think I already said screws. But anyway, that's why he was going to Cerakote for me. And I wasn't sure what colors to go with. And so the night before last, I got to looking at it, and I said, you know what? I'll just heat bronze the damn things. Now, my other shaman that I've got, the Z-Wear shaman, I had sent that one to Mr. Chris Burns at Serpents Run Customs. He made a set of skinny micarta scales for it. The blue distressed blue or whatever micarta scales, they look great. They feel great. Oh, I love them too. And so he did a good job on that, and I says, well, you know what? I'm wondering if I could heat bronze the hardware. I'll give it a shot. I got the propane torch. So I did. And also, what I also did, that was phase 2, was I went ahead, instead of Cerakoting it, scratch the Cerakote, go with the heat bronze. Phase 2 complete. Check it out. All right. Phase 3, acid etching the blade. Yes, acid etching and stone washing. That's what I wanted to do with it. However, I was rummaging around all my junk, all my stuff that I got at the house in one little special room, what I call my special room. It's got all my stuff in it from my RCs and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I started, when I was into RCs, I started painting my own RC bodies. You can buy them clear, and it depends on how you want to paint them, whether you use airbrush. I use the spray cans. Don't do that, Brian. I use the spray cans. Anyway, I use the spray cans. And I got on, and I was in all these groups, in the Facebook groups with the RCs and everything like that, and people were pointing me to directions, like, check out this website for these vinyl masks, check out this website for the masking tape, all that kind of stuff, And so I went to, there's a place called Triple X, not Adrenaline, but Triple X, is XXX Main, MAIN.com. And they do masks for painting your RC bodies. And they also sell decals too, that you can stick them on the inside, so you don't have to worry about painting. They're already painted for you. You can just stick them on the inside and they stick to it. So anyway, and there's another one called Parma, Parma, Parma ESC or something like that. I can't remember. But they do vinyl masks as well for painting your RC bodies. And they got all different designs like flames, stars, flags, stripes, drips, bubbles, octagon, whatever, you know. And you just peel them off and you stick them on the inside of your body, lay them where you want to. And the good thing about this stuff is that it holds up to the spray paint or the airbrushing that you do. It does not allow bleed through, you know, like through the edges and everything, they're like painter's tape. But, however, paint, and I got to thinking about this. I said, you know, I got these decals and everything. I got all kinds of designs. I said, I could probably take these little decals. Some of them are big, some of them are small. Some of them are like, you know, you just have to trim them up and everything to get them to fit right. That's the whole idea for it, to make it your own. So I got these things and I thought, well, you know what? If it does not allow paint to bleed through, paint is a lot thicker than ferric chloride acid. Ferric chloride acid is like a water. I wonder if this would work. If I took these little decals and I set them where I wanted to on the blade, cleaned the blade up real good, I got sweat in my eye, cleaned the blade up real good, you know, like you normally do when you're acid etching and stone washing. And so I did that, and I got the decals and I stuck them on there, and I made sure they were on there really good around the edges and everything, really good. And I let them sit for a little bit too, you know, so they could just stick there really good. And I said, all right, my initial idea was to put the decals on there, and then once they were on there, let's just say this is my blade and all my decals were on there, that I was going to do the whole, you know, like paint the whole thing with that fingernail polish, you know, because when you do your pivot, around your pivot and stuff, don't do that either, Brian. When you do your pivot, you take the fingernail polish around your pivot hole and where the washer sit, everything to protect that metal, because if not, it'll acid etch and then it'll screw up the action and all that kind of stuff, right? Then you have to scrub all that shit off or whatever. But that's what you do with fingernail polish. But when you also got the fingernail polish anywhere else on the metal, acid etch is not going to get to it. So I thought I was going to do that. And then what I was also going to do is once that nail polish dried that I had placed over the decals, I was going to take my little X-Acto knife that I also use for RC bodies, you know, pulling the things off. And I was going to pull the decals off, exposing the blade that's going to be acid etched. Brian couldn't wait. I didn't feel like, you know, putting the nail polish on or wait for that shit to dry. I already had the nail polish around the pivot, you know, where the washers go. So I took that bitch, I tied on a string, and I dropped down the acid etch. And I was like, oh, God, I hope this thing doesn't bleed through, because if it bleeds through the edges, it's going to look like shit. Well, I left the M4 in the acid etch for about 20 minutes. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 20 minutes. And so I slowly pulled it out. And as I was pulling out, I was waiting to see if those decals had like fallen off or something. They'd be floating at the bottom of my shit, you know, but they weren't. They were still on there. And so I took it. I was real careful with it. And I held it in my hand with a paper towel. And I took it and I dipped it in my distilled water. So to get all that acid etching or that ferric chloride off of it. And I, you know, moved it around a little bit, and then I took the paper towel ever so light and just, you know, pressed on it, you know, dry it out really good, and I let it sit for a little bit longer because I was scared to death. I said, oh my God, I hope it's sit. And so I said, well, you know what? I'll take one of these decals off. Hopefully it didn't bleed through. So got my little X-Acto knife, pulled off one of the decals, and lo and behold, no bleed through. I was freaking ecstatic. And then I thought, wait a minute, I still got to stone wash this damn thing. Oh, fuck it, I'll just take the decals off. Who cares? So I stone washed it. This is what it looks like. Those are stars, of course. Acid etched stone, and it got a KME finish on it. See that? On the other side, a couple of flames. Little flame action going on. These two pieces right here are just extra pieces that I just cut off, and I decided that I wanted to just stick them somewhere, and I stuck them like that. So like a little stripe there, and a stripe there, a flame stripe there, or whatever. So that's it right there. Now, bronze hardware. Check it out. I bronzed the back spacer, heat anodized. I'm sorry, not heat anodized. Yeah, not heat anodized, heat bronzed. If you could see it, the sun's in it. But anyway, heat bronzed the back spacer, heat bronzed the screws, heat bronzed the liners. This thing looks really good, but the sun is like killing it right now. But now this clip is the one that Chris Burns did for me. I sent him the clip and he heat bronzed it, or whatever he did to it. And but I took it off because I wanted to put it on here because I wanted to carry this today. So the one at the house, the Z-Wear, it don't have a clip on it right now. No big deal because I got my Shaman right here. I got this M4. But I mean, tell me what you guys think, man. That's the process I went through. These are like little, like I said, these are little vinyl decals that go inside the RC body that you paint. And of course, this star right here was basically what they call a two-stage or a two-part, because you stick the star on there, and then around the edge, you know, like you could paint like with the whole star on there, right? You could paint with the whole star on there, and then once you get done, if you want to paint the inside of the star a different color or the outside of the star a different color, you just peel one part off and then you paint over it again. Thing about painting RC bodies, you always go from dark to light. You can't go from light to dark. Wait a minute, how is it? Go from dark to light. I can't remember how it is. There's one way that you have to paint. It's almost like writ dyeing, really. It's almost like dyeing your scales. You know, you can go from lighter to darker, but you can't go from darker to lighter. But it's something like that with painting the RC body, because the paints, you know, the darker paints will start to bleed, whatever, bleed or show through or something like that. I can't remember. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I've done that. So, but that's it right there, man. That's my M4 Shaman. These are my skinny scales that I got from Scott C. Lacey, the emerald green and the natural micarta. And I put some, there's some kind of furniture conditioner stuff. I forgot who told me about it, and I forgot the name of it too. But it smells like an orange in a way. And it's like, you know, it's just almost like a blob or whatever. You get it in a bottle, and I squeeze it on my micarta scales, and I put it on there. It changes the color of it a little bit, makes them darker, but eventually it comes back out, you know, or whatever. I mean, it lightens back up a little bit. But it's sort of like a conditioner, I guess. And I figure, you know, if it's for wood, isn't micarta some type of wood? Correct me if I'm wrong, but which I probably am. Oh, and there's my little smuckatelli bead, my little tiki bead. I forgot what his name is, but his tongue's sticking out. You know, I can't remember what smuckatelli. They got a write-up about all their pewter beads, and this is some type of Polynesian god or something like that. Maybe the god of love. I don't know. I don't know what he does. So anyway, but that's it. Hey, it's hotter than a moose knuckle in July. A moose, yeah, it is July, but there ain't no mooses around here. So anyway, but that's it, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know, whatever. But hey, also, if you want me to acid etch your blades, whether it be acid etching, stone washing, just standard way or whatever, you know, just regular way, I've got decals too, but I don't have a lot of different types. Like I mentioned what I got before is like the flames, stripes, stars, tribal like flames, things like that. But some of them are the 2 stages like the stars, you know, some of them are not. These flames are 2-stage ones right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna probably do another blade with the 2-stage, but I'm gonna pull the inside out. Anyway, you'll see it. All right, man. Men's, ladies, fellers, brothers, sisters, homies of all ages. Y'all take care, stay safe. We'll holler at y'all later.